What's up, guys? I just wanted to talk today. Well, you already know what I'm talking about. Who the fuck cares? So I'm just going to explain, first of all, the strat that I gave yesterday. I guess I know for a fact it was super overwhelming. Um, I just tried to explain it a little bit too in depth, and the strat that we were using really needed people to know what they were doing when they were soaking, and I didn't bother to explain it to any of them. So this strat is going to make it a lot easier. So first of all, ignore all the markers really. Just remember what markers we had. So we had star and circle here, and then diamond and green here. So the first set of Mark of Frost just came out. You can see these two people. They got targeted by the arrow, which is the debuff that shows you're going to be the first one to get the debuff. Um, they actually become part of the rotation. You can see this with the Shadow Priest as well. He just becomes part of the rotation, and he just takes it to 10 stacks and gives it to the new group, and then just stands there until the next one, and just hands it back and forth. Um, so these people become basically what we were trying to set up. And I think it makes it a lot easier to just remember that you go to 10 stacks and then hand it off rather than having six people in a rotation, two backups, bunch of bullshit. So basically, all you need to remember is that if you get the arrow over your head, you're now a part of the rotation, and you should go to whichever side doesn't have a person currently. So in our case, it'll always be the first person to get the arrow, first person to get Mark of Frost, the first two rather, go to the right side, and then the people that get the duplicate, second people with their arrow, go to the left side. And then you just take it to 10 stacks, hit each other, and then it hands off to the new people. That way, you only have to have two people messing around on each side with the debuffs, and one of them Holy Pallies, which we have two of, can always not get targeted by the debuff. So it makes it super easy for us not to have to set up too many backups and just sort of have a priority rotation instead of a bunch of people like doing different things, not really knowing what to do, rather than just saying, if you have an arrow over your head, you're going to be in the rotation, go for it. I think that makes it a lot easier. If you don't understand that, please ask, because I'll try to explain it better and personal. Um, so you could see right there, here's how they set up ads. Ours is pretty much the same, except it's in a circle. We might change to these marks, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Just makes it a little easier to cleave if they're closer. So we'll see. But as far as these ads go, if I haven't explained this before, they have to 100% be interrupted and stunned, or else if they get a pyroblast cast off, someone's dead just because of how hard it hits. So that's the fire phase. I'll explain the charge later. So here's the arcane orb. You can see this timer replicate arcane orb is what creates all like seven or eight extra arcane orbs. You can see the range is sort of spread out. But you can see as soon as the replicate's done, they go and click on this portal. This is perfect. This is how we'll lay out the phase. So basically, they'll go and they'll just chillax in this corner, and then you can see this guy does the fell cleave. And they basically just stand here until this detonate goes off, and detonates the thing that puts the orbs on the ground. And this phase is the exact same as heroic, besides this guy cleaving you the whole time. I mean, you just run very slowly and stack everything up super tight. Makes it really easy. I mean, look how easy that looks, really. The healing is pretty intensive, but that cleave is very big, and as long as you stand in it and all 20 people are in it, there's no way you're gonna die to it if you have an SLT. So here's the ads. Just kill them. Pretty easy. It's still pretty rough on AoE damage. It can potentially wipe you if they're not close enough together, if you don't get enough AoE, but we have a good class setup for it, so I don't think that'll be a problem. Okay, so you can see this Boomkin and this Mage just got the, I'll actually rewind a little bit. Okay, see they have the arrows over their head, and now they just become part of this rotation. So Mage, Boomkin, or Restadruid, I guess. Mage and Restadruid become part of the rotation, and then the front two people are people they had pre-assigned that actually did the first Mark of Frost too. So they had a Holy Pally and a Hunter, which is probably what we'll have do it, or Holy Pally and Warlock. And they're always going to be in the rotation, and then you can see they're handing off to the people that got the first set of the debuff. Same thing on the right side. They got a Hunter and a Boomkin that had the debuff, and they become part of the rotation, and then they just hand off to these people. You can see the Boomkin and the Hunter just staying super close, waiting for them to pop it at 10 stacks so they get the new beat debuff. You can see the Boomkin and the Mage on this side, just waiting till 10 stacks. They're going to pop it and give the Hunter and the Holy Paladin new beat debuff. Really easy. Nothing hard about that. So all you need to remember is pop it at 10 stacks. If you get the arrow over your head, you're now part of the rotation. Everyone else is just standing in the center here going pretty ham. You can see this Shadow Priest pretty nuts. Um, but yeah, I think it makes it a lot easier. Once again, if you have questions, let me know. I'm going to explain Fire Phase a little bit more in depth here. So our first Searing Brand is about to come out. Um, the only thing that you want to note about this is that the Searing Brand needs to get forward um, because you can see this charge. You can see he takes it up to green. It doesn't penetrate, so you just want to get it in front of the ranged instead of having all the ranged move. You can see all these people, they're just going super forward so that all these ranged people are super safe. And then the melee is standing behind the boss so they don't get hard charged. And then the only other thing about this phase is this fire guy jumping around. That does not hit very hard. I know it looks like it should, but it doesn't. This fire just don't stand in it for too long. It doesn't really hit super hard though, so don't worry about it. Just don't stand in it. And here's the fire ads. We're gonna talk about the arcane phase one time. Just gonna let you see it through. It's gonna be about 7 minutes long, but you really want to see like how they position, well they position, and like where the starting point and where the stopping point is. Because as far as boss positioning goes, they do it exactly like us. It's just how they're positioning fire ads that's different. And as far as ranged is, our ranged was way too far back last night, so I'll make sure to fix that. So you can see they're gonna go to the corner. They couldn't click on the Warlock portal because there was an orb in the way, or at least he couldn't. So they're just gonna stand in this and get cleaved. We have two cleaves right here before they start moving, and they're gonna start moving very slowly. They want to make sure that they're in the group for this next fell cleave, which is right after all the orbs drop. So right there. There's going to be a tank cleave that y'all don't need to worry about. And then there's one more cleave they have to survive through, and then all the arcane ads come up. And that's Spellblade Aluriel, dude. Kill all these ads, kill her, and you win. That's it. It's very easy. If we can understand those marks better, and I'll try to draw up something in paint to like make sure it's really solidified in everyone's head what we're doing. But as long as everyone gets that, the fire phase is not that hard as long as we get stuns and interrupts, and the arcane phase as long as we can kill those ads in time and survive. It's really easy. And that's it. Thanks, guys.